"I forgot our anniversary," she said casually over dinner, spinning her fork lazily in her salad. "I was out with my boss." The words hit him like a punch to the chest. He froze mid-bite, the taste of vinaigrette suddenly bitter in his mouth. "Out with your boss?" His voice was flat, brittle, as if the syllables themselves could fracture. "Yes," she replied, shrugging as though the weight of her confession carried no consequence. "It slipped my mind. You know how it is." He set his fork down carefully, watching the way the candlelight flickered across her features, noting the slight tension in her jaw, the way her eyes avoided his. Something in him coiled tight. Denial rose first. She couldn't mean it. She must be joking. Or maybe the date was off. Maybe he'd misremembered. He wanted to believe it. He needed to believe it. But the gnawing unease wouldn't let him. After dinner, he wandered into the living room, pretending to check emails but really listening for clues in her quiet movements. The house felt unusually large, cavernous, as if every shadow mocked him. His mind went back to the phone calls she had brushed off over the past few weeks, the sudden late nights at work, the faint scent of unfamiliar perfume clinging to her coat. She'd always laugh at his small anxieties, saying he worried too much, that he imagined things. But tonight, her laughter felt like mockery. The next morning, he found himself staring at his reflection in the mirror longer than usual. He examined his own eyes, searching for the foolish man who had trusted blindly. He remembered the morning she left for work last Tuesday, kissing goodbye with a warmth that now seemed rehearsed. His stomach twisted. Why hadn't he noticed sooner? He tried to speak to her, to confront, to demand honesty, but every attempt faltered under the weight of shock and fear. Instead, he observed, he waited, piecing together fragments of conversations and snippets of behavior. The way she picked up her phone quickly when he entered the room, the way her laughter with colleagues seemed just a touch too intimate, the way she sometimes returned home later than she'd promised. Her excuse always the same, work. One evening, his curiosity gnawed at him like a relentless tide. He followed her after dinner, keeping a careful distance, heart hammering in his chest. The car she entered wasn't parked at a restaurant. It wasn't a client's office. It was a dimly lit apartment building he didn't recognize. He waited in the shadows, numb disbelief spreading through his chest, until he saw her step inside, hand brushing against another man's in a way that made his stomach drop like lead. He didn't confront them. He couldn't. He drove home in silence, replaying the image over and over, each repetition a blade twisting deeper. That night, he couldn't sleep. He wandered the house, running his hands over walls they had painted together, furniture they had chosen side by side, each memory now tinged with betrayal. Days passed, and the tension became unbearable. At dinner, she tried to mask normalcy, chatting about her day, laughing at his dry jokes. He smiled faintly, a ghost of his old self. But the trust that had built their marriage crumbled like dry plaster in his mind. Every word she spoke felt weighted with deceit. Finally, he confronted her, not with accusations, but with quiet observation. "I followed you," he said, voice low but steady, eyes fixed on hers. "I saw where you went, who you were with." She froze, the mask slipping. For a moment, the woman he had loved, the one who had shared his hopes, his mornings, his fears, was gone, replaced by someone he barely recognized. She tried to laugh it off, to twist words, but her excuses felt hollow, brittle. I didn't mean to hurt you," she said finally, tears streaking her cheeks, though they felt like a plea for forgiveness more than genuine remorse. He shook his head slowly, a bitter clarity settling in. "You already did," he whispered, "and nothing could undo it." He left the apartment that night, not in rage, not in anger, but in sorrow. He carried only the quiet devastation of a love that had been betrayed, the heartbreak of a trust shattered beyond repair. Standing on the curb under the amber glow of the street lamp, he realized that some wounds weren't meant to be healed, only endured, and that sometimes letting go was the only act of self-preservation left. The silence of the city wrapped around him like a cold cloak as he walked away. Behind him, the door to the life he had known remained closed, the echoes of laughter and lies fading into the night. And though the pain cut deep, he felt a strange, resolute calm, an understanding that he would survive, that he would rise again, even if the pieces of his heart were forever scattered.